Did you know that the last Iranian tiger killed in the wild was less than 17 years ago? Imagine, not so long ago, this giant tiger with its golden fur and narrow brown or gray stripes used to roam the forests of northern Iran. But today, only its skull and a few photos remain. But what happened? In this video, we're going to uncover this very sad mystery. Stay with us until the end of the video to find out if there's any way for this species of tiger to return or not. Imagine a time when the Persian tiger, with its golden fur shining under the sunlight, roamed alongside a tapestry of forests and marshes on the distant horizon of the Caspian Sea, searching for prey. The Persian tiger, also known as the Caspian tiger, was one of the largest, with males reaching up to about 3 meters or 10 feet including the tail. They weighed around 170 to 240 kilograms, or 370 to 530 pounds. Tigers are usually orange, but what made the Persian tiger especially unique in the summers was its yellowish, almost golden-colored fur. And this was not unusual at all, because nature designs every animal according to its habitat. The Caspian tiger lived in semi-arid plains, reed beds along rivers, and desert areas with yellow vegetation. If it had been bright orange, hunters and prey would have easily noticed it. That's why it was golden-colored, to camouflage itself better. It's interesting to know that in winters, the color of this tiger would turn cream or light yellowish white because its fur would become thicker and lighter to withstand the cold. But the Iranian tiger used to have a much wider geographical range. From northern regions of Iran all the way to Iraq, Turkey, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, and even northwestern China. The reason for this wide distribution was that, compared to other tigers, this tiger was more adaptable to drier environments and actually lived along rivers and reed beds, even in semi-desert areas. It would also roam vast territories in search of prey, especially wild boar and deer. However, unfortunately, with the expansion of agriculture, the arrival of the Russian army in Central Asia, and the excessive hunting of this tiger, it was wiped out from most of these areas and became completely extinct by the 1960s. You should know that in the early to mid-20th century, the Soviet and Iranian armies, along with hunters, relentlessly killed these magnificent tigers with hefty bounties. Break time equals 0.5s/, on the other hand, the natural habitat of these tigers, which primarily consisted of wetlands and verdant forest strips along rivers, gradually disappeared and was systematically turned into vast cotton fields and rice paddies. And as if that wasn't enough, humans also heavily hunted the tiger's main prey, like wild boar, red deer, bokhara deer, and other native herbivores, for food, leather, sport, or meat trade. And when the prey disappeared, the Persian tiger no longer had enough food sources and was forced to approach livestock or human settlements, which in turn led to even more hunting of the tiger. It also stayed hungry, competing with other predatory animals, and its population kept declining day by day. But one of the most heartbreaking moments for the Persian tiger goes back to 1958, that is 67 years ago in Iran, when the last officially recognized Persian tiger in the country was killed in Golestan forest. Now, in the meantime, there are some local witnesses who claim that this tiger was seen in Afghanistan up until 1997, but no living specimen was recorded after that, and in 2003, this tiger was officially declared extinct. Now, people have started looking for solutions after Sohrab's death, saying maybe there is a way to save this tiger from the ashes of hope. This idea is becoming less a dream and more a reality. Thanks to genetic research, scientists discovered the mitochondrial DNA of the Persian tiger and Siberian tiger differs by only a single nucleotide. So what is this? Nucleotides are the building blocks of DNA. Just like a wall is made of bricks, DNA is made of millions of nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of 3 simple parts: a sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogenous base. What makes the nitrogenous base interesting is it's like the letters of the alphabet used to write the genetic code. Of course, in DNA, there are only 4 letters: A, T, G, and C. The difference between a human, a tiger, a dog, or even a tree is just in the order of these 4 letters. So when we say the Persian tiger and the Siberian tiger differ by just 1 nucleotide, it means that out of millions of DNA letters, only 1 is different. In other words, they're basically the same animal with just a tiny genetic difference. For example, imagine you have 2 cake recipes that are exactly the same, except in one it says 2 tablespoons of sugar, other 3 tablespoons of sugar. The same cake. Now, this question, when we realize the similarity between the Siberian tiger and the Persian tiger, can we fill the gap left by the Persian tiger with the Siberian tiger? The government of Kazakhstan took this matter seriously and in 2017 decided to launch a historic project. The Albakhash Nature Reserve, which covers an area of 415,000 hectares, 1,600 square miles. That's half the size of Lebanon. The goal of this project is to restore enough prey, especially Bokhara deer, Persian tiger's favorite food, bring in Siberian tigers to fill gap left by Persian tiger in wild. Of course, it's natural that the Siberian tiger will never truly become the Persian tiger, but by introducing Siberian tigers to areas where the Persian tiger once lived, a biological substitute is provided that can play the role of the Persian tiger in the ecosystem. In a way, you could say the Siberian tiger is like a twin brother who's supposed to bring the family back together. Of course, there are various opinions about this. Some experts worry the Siberian tiger might not adapt to the drier conditions of the region. Some say if illegal hunting isn't eradicated, this project will fail. But hope is still alive for its completion. In 2024, the first group of Siberian tigers entered the region, and the ultimate goal is to support around 100 wild tigers by 2070. Local people in the area have reported that at night, the sound of a roar echoes through nature, and at the same time, the populations of prey animals like Bokhara deer and wild boar have started to increase, making the river paths look alive again. But think about this project one more time. Imagine taking a Siberian tiger, which lives in the cold, rainy forests of Russia, and suddenly bringing it into the middle of a desert. At first, it might look for an air conditioner and some cool water, thinking to itself, "Oh man, what kind of hell is this place?" But I think after a while, it would get used to it. Because, jokes aside, the Siberian tiger is genetically very close to the Iranian tiger that lived in these regions. And in fact, its genes are such that it can adapt to tough conditions. But what do you think? Do you think it's possible that one day, we might hear the roar of a tiger again in the forests of Mazandaran? Be sure to write your thoughts in the comments. The Iranian tiger was a symbol of power and rulership in Iranian culture, and stories and even old Iranian carpets featured images of this tiger. But now that symbol is gone. Although with the presence of the Siberian tiger in the wild, maybe we can once again bring a moment of happiness to the grieving Mother Nature, who mourns her lost child. But this story still holds a big lesson for us. We need to take care of nature more than we think, and not let the princes of nature fall one by one to the ground.